Well, good morning, everyone out there in the streaming world. Welcome to Flying with Mike. Um, we're sitting on the ground in Singapore, where we left off with Millennial Aviation. We're getting the plane prepped and ready to go for Guangzhou, China, which for FedEx is their Far East, one of their Far East hubs. They have one there and at Kansai. And which moved, by the way, from Hong Kong up to Kansai or to Guangzhou. So we're going to fly. It's about a 3-hour flight, or I'm sorry, close to 4. It's 3.5, 4 hours. So we're going to hop up into the cockpit, accept the cockpit real quick, and then get into the pre-flight so you get an idea what the flight's going to be looking like. So for now, hang on a second. We're going into the cockpit. It is cold and dark, so that means we got to fire it up, load the plane up, and go. But before we load it, we'll do the pre-flight. So we're up on the top half of the cockpit. Circuit breakers are in, emergency equipment's checked. Now, what we're going to do here to power up, the left and right utility have to be turned on, the battery, and the standby power. Now I go ahead, these are the last two steps in the acceptance. I go ahead and do them now and get these knocked out. Plus I get my nav lights on so people know there is power on the plane. And I also like to get my lights while I'm here. And then, hang on, we'll get that. And going on from here, hydraulic demand pumps we turned on. Now to the middle here, we're going to look for the alternate flaps and gear. They should be off. So the alternate flaps is here and the gear is here. They are off. Gear lever. Always make sure, especially in this aircraft, which we'll be talking about here shortly, make sure it's down. I have come into the Sparks744 Mod. If you're using a key on your joystick or yoke, it may not be down. So always make sure it's down. Flap lever, that's just a little further down. Make sure that's at 0 and showing 0 up here. And parking brake all the way to the bottom. Make sure that is set and on. Now we're going to come down to set up. Well, first off, we're going to get rid of that, and then we're going to do this. We're going to establish ground power right now. To do that, you come over here, and this will be the only FMC at the moment powered up. So what you do is you go to ground handling, click select. Then you click ground service. Then simply click the line key by ground power. You'll see it down here. Come up to the top. You'll see they're available, and I'll go ahead and do both. And for some reason now that's crooked, and I don't know why. There we go, a little better. Anyway, and now when we come down, everything's powered up, and I just do some things real quick to make it look like I want it to. All right, folks, that right there. Then we have to check our oxygen mask. That is over here. This does not have a gauge where you can check it. so we can't really do that. Then we come up top, emergency lights, make sure they're on and guarded. Windshield wipers are off, and your nav light logo lights are on. And then we did the bus tie already and the gen disconnects. I do them in the beginning, so as soon as I bring ground power on the plane, the whole thing starts lighting up. One other thing I'm going to do out of sequence is the air conditioning. I'm going to get that set ahead of time. I just do that out of habit. All right, so that concludes accepting the cockpit. So we're going to come back down, and now what we're going to do is do the pre-flight brief. So let me get Sim Toolkit moved over. Apologize for that, folks. We'll go that route. It works. So with Sim Toolkit up, let's go through the flight, because we're going to then load the aircraft from the data we're going to get from this. So we're in Singapore. It's 22 feet above sea level, as you see. Transition here is 11,000. To left is going to be our departure runway. We'll get into the winds here momentarily for a heading of 23, and it's 13,000 feet long. So we got plenty of runway for our run today. Loadout today. FedEx is scheduling out of here a payload of 80,226 kilos. With 6 passengers up top with us. Hang on a second. Had to get some coffee, folks. Sorry. Just came off my 24-hour shift. Okay, then they're also going to have us uplifted with almost 50,000 kilograms. It's going to be, and that's what we're going to load is 50.0. So, but 49,863 is what would be needed for the trip. Okay, weather-wise here, real quick, is as of 16Z, about 15 or so minutes ago, 330 at 5. Variable winds from 300 to 360. Favors the runway 2s. That's why we're going 2 left. They're saying unlimited visibility, few clouds at 1,800 feet, broken sky 3,000. Temperature 26 degrees Celsius, 23 degrees Celsius on the dew point. And the QNH here is standard at 1013. No significant weather in the area. And for those curious, Guangzhou, it is 50 feet above sea level. We'll be landing runway 2 right, which is the closer runway to the FEDEX complex there. We'll show soon. Now, the interesting thing here, you see a weird transition. That's because they work in meters like the Russian airspace. Leaving a little different than theirs. Transition here is 8860. We'll probably set it at 9,000, fudging it a little. Runway heading is 18 degrees, and here's our ILS information, 1085 IDM 16. That runway is 12,000 feet long, and they are at the end of the runway, FedEx. So, long taxi here, long taxi there. All right, so let's kick over to the other side of the ledger. I was looking up some things before we started the stream and did not realize we weren't reset. So, again, Singapore to Guangzhou, WSSS, Zulu Triple G. That's our ICAOs. Expecting we're not going to be able to put the departure in here in Singapore. We'll worry about that when we get to that point. So, and tail number today is November 618 Bravo Charlie. Air distance 1,578 miles. And the cruise or cost index is 100. That's what I put on all 7 4s. But when you look at these step climbs, they are very, very confusing. So I'm going to do a quick walkthrough, but we'll get more into it when we're in the air. We're going to climb to 35,000. That is our initial flight level. At Dudis, it says to go to 36. I'm not 100% sure. Now, this one, I do not know what this 34 BC 1070 is. That may be where we switch into meters. I don't know. But Dulap will go to 37,000. From then on, we'll just kind of play it by ear. While we're here, I am going to go ahead and put a flight plan in. Waiting on POSCON. Waiting on POSCON. There you are. Okay, that's good. That's good. That hopefully will be good. Okay, we're going to submit. Looks like it took. All right. And we are in WSJC. Let me write that down in case I forget. And 12295 CTAF. Okay. All right. So the things that I was writing down, folks, are things for getting onto POSCON. So let me try something here. All right, I am not finding what I want. Oh, there we go. All right, so let me just for the moment here throw this over to you. This is what happens once you put your flight plan in. This is what comes back initially. Let me scroll up. You'll get your summary. You guys may be familiar with this with the Professional Flight Planner under ATC or SimBrief, what it gives out. But it basically is your flight plan, your aircraft and its equipment. You're in Singapore, departing 1705. I don't know if we'll make it or not. We'll give it our best. Here's our route, initial flight level, and here's additional information about the plane and any remarks. Then we come down how to activate. Now, what I was looking at was the general and communications. So we're in Singapore. Now, Common Traffic Advisory Frequency, or CTAF, that's what we'll put in on COM1 is 122.95. When we go to do our uplink to get our squawk code, we'll be going to WSJC, and I do have that right. Really, that's all we need right now. So what I'm going to do is minimize that, and we'll show the live map later. So let me get rid of that. Oops, I got rid of Sim Toolkit. My bad. Let's do that again. There we go. So we've got that portion filed, and I am going to just go ahead and get logged in. FEDEX 744, that is the wrong call sign. Let me see if I have one. I do. Log in. Oh, I may have screwed up. Hang on. Dun, 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 dun. Let me look again. Oh, it did let me. For some reason, I thought it may not have let me log in that way. And then get the web UI up, and then we'll go to that here in a moment. Well, let me just bring it over. Oh, I can't. Okay, so we have to do it on the sim. Okay, that's why. Okay, so we're gonna, one more time, bring it over. Now, you're seeing the web UI when you're, these are all, let's see here. These are all in the plugins up here, when you go to POSCON, you click Web UI, and that's going to bring this page up. On this page, all we do is click ATC, log in. We're logging in as MAC0572, which is our... Okay, why did it stop? Okay, what is going on? Oh, duh. We're logging into WSJC MAC0572. And then all we do is click send. That little mic click tells you they've received it. Possibly in a couple minutes we'll get a ping back. And there it is. We'll look at the message. It's been sent. All right. Oh, and we already did. Yep, we already got our flight plan filed, so we'll see if it gives us one or not. All right, while we wait, we continue on with the pre-flight brief. All right, so bringing that up. So as we come down, we can see now how the fuel breaks down. And what we're going to use, our alternate is a mere 60, 70 miles away. I can't remember the flight time to it. But we got to use 4,690 kilos of fuel to get there and still have 7,194 kilos on the ground when we get there. So that means we're going to put in 10.7. I'm writing that down. Okay. And then here's our 49,863. That will load later in a few minutes. Here is our routing to the alternate, which is airtime 115 miles. It kind of zigzags its way down. It's in between Hong Kong and Guangzhou. So there's not a lot of space, folks, between those two. And then here's our route again. This is without all that other crap in it that sometimes you see. It looks just like the one up here in the upper left. Times, we're estimating 3 hours 54 minutes because of the winds, but it's scheduled at 3 hours 45 minutes. The all-important weights, 79,600, which, as we know, put a payload on us of 80,200. And zero fuel weight of 249,677, rounded up to 700 kilos. There's our fuel. There's our takeoff weight, estimated. Everything's estimated, folks. Okay, and lastly, our winds are averaging not much. That's why we probably have that difference in estimated versus scheduled. 166, which is good. That's kind of from the tail, but only at 007. All right, so on to the charts real quick. Here's what the route looks like that you see in the upper left. Kind of just goes its way up there. There is really nothing straighter. That is pretty much either go. The one that would be a little closer to straight is coming to Singapore. Significant weather-wise, as you would expect, this low on the horizons, you would expect thunderstorms. So we've got those to deal with. Then we're 30,000. Here you go. Here's your 39. All right, folks. So we're going to now switch over to our getting the airplane loaded. So bear with me here a second and we'll get to that. Okay, so we're back up in the cockpit here. To load this plane, what we're going to do, drop down to the lower panel. This is where we can put in our CTAF information, which I'll do right now. Put that active. And we haven't gotten a squawk, so we don't know. And we're going to go ahead and load the aircraft. So what we'll do, we'll come, first off again, we go from that main menu, hits, here, let me do it again. Main menu, ground handling, PAX cargo. We're going to need to go to page 2, so hit next page. And then we load the airplane up, and basically we're just putting in the number of pallets. So 3 pallets is the max for the zone A, 8 pallets in zone B, 6 pallets in zone C. So bear with me, I'm going to load the plane up and then we'll come back. Okay, so as you all saw, I just basically was going, I believe it was 2P, 3P, 6P, 6P, or no, 7P or 8P maybe here, and 1. And then I just bulked it here. I didn't even try to add it up here. And these, you could also do the same thing here. You could just put these numbers in, and then it'll do the same thing. So the aircraft is now loaded this route. One thing we do need to do that they do recommend, come over, oh wait, cancel flight, is zero out your fuel. And I'll show you what we're doing there here. Okay, so we zero out the fuel, come back up here, we got to get the caution. Okay, so we come back down. Go back to this page where we started, where we clicked PAX Cargo. Now we're going to go up to ground service. Now we need, one more time, it was 49,863. As far as I know, you can't put in 49.8. Or was it 49? Did they round up? Hang on. Yeah, you can't put in 48.9. So, or 49.9. You just put in 50. Now, I'm going to try and check on the Discord channel to see if you can. Well, hell, you know, we can always give it a try. 49.9. Does not appear to be. So 50. Now, all we have to do from this point on is hit request ground handling. Let me just go up real quick. As you can see, we are zeroed out here on total fuel. So I'm going to click request ground handling.
Service trucks coming.
Okay, so the service trucks are now coming, and we are now loading that 80,000 pounds on of fuel. It won't start here for a moment, but let's take a look outside. And I'm going to go a little further out. See what we can see coming. Okay, here comes some cars. They're going to duck in and out of buildings. Here comes the fuel truck. He'll drive right through the containers out here. The guy with the GPU. And I gotta love this Mercedes blocking the way. See, there goes the fuel truck. And when he gets under the wing, there he is coming in. This will actually, I believe, lift up. It's already filling fuel, by the way. Like I said, kind of neat things. Catering truck should be coming too. Oops. It wouldn't surprise me if these are them. And they're going to hook into door 1R and door 5R in the back. All right, so let's, neat stuff to look at. But we're going to continue on now. And again, we're up to 50 kilograms now, or 50,000, sorry. So that takes care of loading the aircraft, and that'll conclude the pre-flight briefing portion of this. I want to make sure I'm not screwing up here, and I'm not. Okay, so let's move on to pre-flight checks. I want to make sure I did get everything. We've loaded, we got fuel, and we've gone through what the flight looks like. Okay, so pre-flight checks. First thing off the bat, let's get our inertial navs aligning. Okay, all we do is 2 clicks to the right. Then EECs, normal and guarded. Fire protection, right here. Okay, we want to see the lights and hear the bells. Interrupt switch on. Passenger oxygen is normal, which is right here, and guarded. Flight deck lights we've already set. Stab trim, we're going to come down to the middle again and then scroll down. Here's your stab trims. We want to make sure they're in cutout. And they're in auto, my bad. And the guard's down. Now we can set the FMC. So we're going to come back, zoom in, because it gets a little trickier here. So what we're going to do, click FMC, pilot, F-plan. Now now get ready, it will error. Ooh, didn't. Well, it'll be on the neck when I go for a runway for sure. Okay, there's our route. FEDEX, or not FEDEX, WSSS. We're just going to go with MAC0572. And we're going to also, bear with me here, folks, I know it just minimized. I'm going to go ahead and fire up Mac Air's ACAR program. I like to get credit for this flight, so we can do the next one. Okay, and that's getting ready. We'll get full screen again. There we go. I like to wait till the fuel and payloads are loaded before I fire up ACAR programs. Okay, so there we go on this page. Now, since this is still pretty much tied to the default 747 stuff in many ways, and in some they have been able to manipulate it, probably going to get this one, could not be added because 2 right at WS is missing. Learn more. And noted, thanks we've received, and yeah, they never fix it. Okay. All right. So, what we're going to do to get around this error, start with VMR. So we're going direct VMR. Well, actually, bear with me 1 second. We're going, where are you? There you are. TOPM. TOPOM. We'll brief this here in a minute. TOPOM. Next page. Basically what I'm doing is putting my SID in. ATRUM. And bearing here, ATRUM, AKOMA. Which is 23 miles away, and I believe now we are at VMR. Whoop, not W. Okay, now we have put in basically our SID by hand. So then we go on to the routing. That is okay, so Mike 771. Come on, computer. All right, Mike 771 to Dumal. From Dumal, J103. Beagle, and that is Bravo, Echo, Kilo. Oscar Lima. One more. A461. And that's to ID UMA. All right. Execute. Hopefully we won't have to put the star in as well. All right, so now we're going to come back to route. Again, TOPM is the first fix on our departure, which is direct. We don't have a runway, although I wonder if I could put it in. Okay, so 2 left. We'll see if it even means anything. Okay, Whiskey Sierra Sierra, TOPM, Atrum. Okay. Oh, that is a fix. Wow. Okay. No, no problems with the discontinuities or anything out of the ordinary. What I am wanting to do is scroll up. We got 3 minutes. So at this point, folks, we're going to hit the brakes for a second here. We're going to do a couple things on the checklist, actually. But first, results. Okay, Top Cat's up. Okay, so we're going to do, we can't do the MCP, which is the next item, but we can set our hydraulics panel. So what we'll do, come up here, again, our engine pumps are on. All of our demands, 1, 2, and 3 are off. We'll turn number 4 to auxiliary. We'll leave the fuel. We'll stop again right here. What did I do here? This is crooked. There we go. And again, you can see that the belt loader's still over here. That gives us time to kind of, let's take a look at Singapore. It's not really reading what the weather said. And the belt loader is pulling away, so all is good. Got some aircraft over here. I know my traffic program is having a lot of trouble. And more than likely, well, I don't even see jetways. Wow. All right, so there we go, folks. Kind of a 180, if you will, of the place. Come back in, drop down to 2. Got a minute to go, and then we'll continue on with the initialization of the FMC. We still got the performance to put in, get our V numbers, and then we can set the MCP. So what I'm going to do, let's pull down to here. We're going to go ahead and go to perf, and I'm going to click 0 fuel. There's our fuel. We're 10.7. Cost index of 100. Now 1,000. 350. Oh, yep. 100% right. Thank you, because this thing doesn't do it right. I totally forgot the ident pages. Whiskey. There we go. Here's our route. Perf. Now we'll put in 3, 5, 1, 2, 3. IKO. Even though I do not think this is working yet, we'll still stick it in right. Shows a CG of 20%. Not even sure that's on track. Let's see what TopCat shows us at. That's actually not far off, folks. 19. So can't complain. Pretty good. Good job there at Sparks. And you can see the homemade SID. Now we move on to the thrust limit. Now this I will be using TopCat and Professional Flight Planner for. So we're going to go to, if you're using TopCat, what you would do is put your flight in. Once you have it in there, you got your arrival, departure, weights, fuels, all of that in the way you want it. If you send it to the plane, send it. Otherwise, do what you do. Then you're going to click TLR, which is Takeoff Landing Report. When that comes up, click Takeoff Report. Make sure the runway is correct and only click the ones you want. I don't want to center, I want to left. Okay, so we've got our information. Do a weather update. because that's going to stick that into your ACAR report. Then if you have your ACARs set up in here, it's going to bring up what would be printing in the airplane. And for this, we're looking at a dry runway. It better say dry. Any ice will be off. Air conditioning obviously will be on. And winds are 330 at 5 right now, giving us a headwind component of 3. PMDG, folks, that works for you. And I can show you how to do that if I was on PMDG, but unfortunately, that computer is not set up for streaming, so I unfortunately can't do it as of yet. All right. The more important thing is they're calling for a derated 2 departure. I'm going to put us on a climb 1. And we're going to do a temperature up here in the select of 39. Then all you do is click. Man, they really crisped this up. I really like it. All right, let's see. Can I put anything? Nope, it's not active. So again, some of this is still not active. I wish it would be, but you know, you can't get everything. Flaps 10. And by the, oops, not 5, 10. And by the way, folks, the 80,000 pounds or kilos we have loaded in, it translates cargo-wise. It's like 79, I think is what I loaded in, 79,000 kilos to 175,000 pounds, I think it was. Or 160, somewhere in there. So it's about a moderately loaded to a little on the heavy side. I should have said that in the beginning and miscued on that. Okay, now not necessarily these V-speeds are what I'm going to go with. Now, how do we get it to where we that's useful for us? All we got to do, what we're going to be using, the system came up with, is V1 of 143, V rotate or R 151, and V2 162. They're calling a lot off on all of this. So 1, 4, 3, click here. Now it doesn't change there, but if you click on it, it's there. Rotate 151. I'm going to go ahead and go with that one. Okay, and then there's our trim, 5%. I don't think I get a trim off this. Looking it over real quick. Now, for those curious, it's a 4,300 feet margin. So we're going to get airborne on a 13,000 foot runway, about 9,000 feet down it. Okay, close all this up. Trim 5.5 they're calling. So, but anyway, folks, that is the initialization of the FMC. Now, since the checklist is set to go right into the MCP, we'll go ahead and set that 166 plus 10, so 176. Runway heading here is 23. Initial climb 35,000. Okay. So the MCP is now set. Other than let's get the flight directors turned on. All right, so moving on, we'll go to the fuel pumps. Up top, we're going to go ahead. Well, first off, one thing I want to check before we do, how's our fuel loaded? So it's even. As long as the outboard tanks equal the inboard tanks, that means we're going to be going tank to engine on our pumping. So we won't need to open up any cross-feed valves. However, we can just turn on the main ones. We won't even need the overrides. Okay, interphone is in normal. Voice recorders on. Anti-ice systems are off. Those are located right here. Window heat right across from it on. Yaw damper up top here on the right on. And outflow valves off. Air conditioning auto. Trim air and upper recircs are on. Aft cargo heat will turn on in flight if needed. High flow switch is on. ECS is normal. Pack 1 on. 2 and 3 off. Isolation left and right on. And bleed air switch is on. Okay, back down to the bottom. Now what I'm wanting to do here is set our Efus. Again, we're in QNH, so we'll move that over to start with 1013. Just doing a quick check. No change. Okay, and then over on this side, we are on decision height, which is going to be 100. I do that on all planes. Kind of keeps things simple. Then the MDA, since we're at 23 or so feet, we'll run it up to about 400. Oop, come back here. I hate when it does that. Hang on. Okay, now we'll go over here to the other side, do exactly the same thing. Okay, and we're 1013. He says cautiously as it's starting that zoom issue again. Okay. 400. Okay, and you can also set, if it's not already, your VOR. VORs are up. Okay, where are we? Okay, we just got the Efus panels. Displays are set. Actually, no, not yet. We're still set on fuel there. Standby instruments are good. Nav selectors are set. That's these guys. I go straight up and down, 12 o'clock position. All right, now we're going to move down. The easiest way to do this next section is right here. All right, so speed brake down, thrust closed, thrust reversers closed, flaps 0, and if they were down and say 1 through 30, you'd see it there. So 0 and 0. Fuel control switches, those go across the bottom. They're all in cutoff and down. Radios are now set. Our CTAF for Singapore, 122.95. Guard, 123.45. 121.5, the other guard channel. And the other guard channel is also set over here in case ATC wants to get a hold of me. In the middle of all of this, let's get this set up. Takeoff there. And I am going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and plug in our arrival just to see if that's going to be a problem. Hallelujah. Now, what we can do here is set up, oh, I don't want to set up the runway just yet. Think that's it right there. IDUM-1A, IDUM-1A. No transitions, and these are the runways, and I believe we'll be on the Lima Zulu. That's what I'm hoping for. All right, folks, that takes us to the ATC clearance, which we have obtained. Right. And if you really want to see the flight plan or the map, hang on, well, it doesn't matter. Progress. Cool, 1455. So everything's looking pretty good. 115 or so miles out. We'll start down. All right, folks, that cleans up and clears the pre-flight brief. From here, let me go here to takeoff and back up to here. We are going to now go into the before start checklist. Go ahead and close up the main door. Up top, we're going to fire up the APU. 2 clicks to the right. And we're going to, I do want to check because they say they changed it. Okay, I see the APU door. Ooh. Okay. Here is all of our hydraulics. Our brake pressure is up. And this is the APU line. Okay, I'm kind of waiting to see if it's going to fire. This is the longest I've... Oh, there it goes. I've ever seen it take. This is even longer than PMDG. So I don't know if that's realistic or not, but hey, power to them. Good heat plume coming out of it. It's right in here. If you don't see it, that little blurriness is the heat plume. That's the exhaust. The intake is right there. Almost spooled up. No, that may be right, actually. But it's been too many years since I've even seen a 747 at Mid-America Airport to let you know. And I think, no, there might have been one that fired up the APU out there. All right, so they're at 100%. We'll hit the gens. The pack is already on. And brake pressure is good in the green. All right, so fuel quantity, we've got 49.9 boarded. Performance data, checked and set. MCP set for V2 plus 10, 176. V2 is 166. Runway heading 23. And the altitude 35,000. Okay, takeoff speeds one last time. 143 for V1, 151 for rotate, 162. I'm sorry, 166 for V2. All right, finally, stab trim. Coming down, zooming in. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up just to about there. Rudder and aileron are at 0. Auto start. Yes, we want auto start. And I'll explain why. That just helps us recall. Crew briefing time brings us up to the departure brief. All right, so let's get into the airplane. I'm going to bring some toolkit over. Bring that over. There we go. Also, while we're at it. Okay, so Sim Toolkit's up here now. Just trying to decide how I want to go from here on the next scene. All right, so with Sim Toolkit, the departure brief, again, let's go over the weather. As of 16:30, that's now 30 minutes old. Actually, 35 minutes old, but anyway, it's still 330 at 5. Unlimited visibility. I kind of questioned what this means really. View at 1800, broken 3000. Temperature still 26 degrees Celsius, 23 degrees Celsius dew point. Standard barometer reading 1013. That is all set in the aircraft, and there is a SIGMET out for thunder showers in and around the area. So we'll kind of see how that plays out on departure. Real quick, look at the live map here. As soon as it loads. Okay, so we are located right here, which is 503 in X-plane. Obviously, the real spots are there. Hey, they did a real good job. This is the default Shanghai, or not Shanghai, Singapore. So maybe I'll look up Singapore scenery. Who knows? Maybe it'll load the stuff in that I need. But anyway, we're going to push back nose south. November 2 will come out on. And we'll just kind of make our way down to Whiskey. Actually, we'll just make our way down. Yeah, down to Whiskey. I can't follow it that well, folks. Down to 2 left, take off, and then we'll follow our departure we just set up. So, but anyway, let me bring it out a little. And again, this is a feature within Sim Toolkit, folks, that if you go to the live map, you can zoom in and see where you are and see what you need to do to taxi from ATC. Also, I have the weather turned on, so you can see we got some rain to worry about up in the once we get past Victor Mike Romeo and pressing on. Somebody else is taking our run as well. All right, so let's get into it, shall we? Okay, here's Nav Graph. Y'all probably have this. If you don't have Sim Toolkit, you may have Nav Graph already for updating your FMCs. X-Plane, prepared. Even the new Microsoft Sim has found a way to beta this, I think it is. It might be active now. But anyway, this will update your nav data. It also has a secondary feature called Charts that if you subscribe to it, it keeps your charts worldwide open. SkyVector's free. That gives you the U.S. territories and the U.S. NavGraph gives you the world. And they pretty good charts, folks. I can't really complain with them. Would you all listen to me if I complain? No. So anyway, let's just start into it here real quick. Here's the airport. We are located, oh man, up here in the West Cargo area. I did not mean for, oh, there we go. In the West Cargo apron. Like I said, we're going to do November 2, work our way down to Whiskey all the way to the end. I believe that's Whiskey 9, and then use all 13,000 for the takeoff. Oh, that's what I had done. Here's the frequency strip across the top. 122.95 is POSCON's common traffic. Obviously, it tells you that when you file your flight plan, you'll get a response. It'll tell you in that. So we'll be using 122.95. It's already dialed in. But if ATC were to come up, we'd be going through some of these channels. Here is the departure, the Victor Mike Romeo 5 Echo. Again, we're taking off, heading on a 2-3, direct Topham. Just got to be above 2,000. From Topham, we have Atrum and Acoma, and then to VMR. And at Coma, we need to be above 7,000. And I'm sure there's not much difference down here to top them on course 23 at or above 2,000. Turn left to Atrium to a Coma. Doesn't say it's going to ballpark at 333 for our heading to a Coma, and then be above 7,000 and then direct via the VMR VOR. All right, we are cleared to 3,000 initially. However, we're going to go ahead and just do a direct climb up to flight level 350. All right, folks, that takes care of the charts. Again, here's our Nav Graph routing. And we're going to go ahead and start getting this aircraft ready to go. And for that, we need to do a push and start. Well, I know this isn't it. Let's go ahead and get the tug called for. Now, what I've done, a better pushback is, like it says, a better pushback than default. It's very simple to use. You click pre-plan to do just that. Plan how you want to push back. Once you have it set, you click start and it goes from there. So we'll pre-plan. And we're going to go to about right here. Again, nose toward the south. Just left click it on the mouse. That shows your plan. Enter, just like it says down the side here.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
And we're ready because it takes them a few minutes. Yeah, not bad, folks. We're 17:05. Zulu was our scheduled departure. We are about 9-10 minutes late.
Ground to cockpit.
Not
Tow is
bad.
dropping up.
Okay, so we got to do one thing here before we can actually push back. Let's go click menu, select, and remove Chocks. Now, if we look outside, there should not be any Chocks under those wheels, and there are not. And there's the pushback guy coming in. What I'm going to do, I'm just curious. I want this one. And this is how you do your few things.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
By the way, this does not work. We'll get the, he's still working at it, folks. And we're freighter, good. Pratt & Whitney 4062, so we'll be ready for an engine fire. Negatory. We're not set up for that, folks. And we'll do menu, progress. All right, so 4, oh wait a minute, 3, VNav. You know, one thing we did not set, folks, and is that on the VNav page or it is 1000. Now it's not going to trigger us like PMDG does.
Tow connected and bypass been inserted. Release parking brake.
All right, we will, first off, a couple of things here. Let's go ahead, bring on our hydraulics. Make sure our fuel pumps are on. Let's go ahead. This one goes down. Okay. All right, folks, here we go to pushback. Pushing back.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
What I like to do is start this timer over here. And let's get them cranking. Okay, 1 and 4 are turning as soon as we lift the fuel control levers. Now we should be getting a light off here real soon. There it goes. These EEGTs, that's the turbine temperatures coming up. Okay, as soon as they stabilize, we can actually arm up 2 and 3. All right. Go ahead and turn the weather radar off. Sorry, did not mean to make you sterile down there in the pushback truck. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go silent here for a moment while we get 2 and 3 armed, and then we'll get them fired up. We'll be right back with you.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Okay, folks, we've completed that. We'll set the parking brake. We have all engines running. And
Disconnecting
stand
tow.
by.
Stand by.
Okay, folks. Tug is disconnecting, and we're going to start with the after start checklist. He is away. And with that signal, I'm going to go ahead and turn on our pumps here, and let's do that. Will signal the after start engine start checks. Ignition to continuous. That is this section right here. APU can now be turned off.
Noise disconnected. Unbike Aspen has been removed. Hand signal on the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
On. Hydraulics are set. Anti-ice not needed at the well. We're going to go ahead and turn the engines on because we have storms nearby. And we're going to do a recall. We don't have auto brake set or auto throttle. We'll do that at the runway. So we're coming down. So auto throttle is set. We'll go ahead and make everyone get in their seats now on this cargo flight. And we're going to do a recall. Cancel. Recall. We should get that same warning. We do. And now we'll do flight controls. And if you've been following with us, most, if not all, flight crews will use the stat page or status, where they may actually have one for the flight controls, but here they are. So we just go left, and they better go the right ways. Okay. Elevator. We're just making sure they're free, folks. That nobody accidentally left the guards in, so we have no control. And then the rudders. Okay. And then we'll just do kind of a make sure they're free here and at the runway. Because if they're not here, better to pull in, let the mechanics look at it, than to have to come all the way back from the end of the runway if we already know about it. All right, so folks, we're ready for the taxi checklist, which is simply the taxi light, landing lights. Oh wait, we missed one. Flaps. Flaps need to go to 10. Okay, and you can see it's in transit. Now, taxi. So, turn off lights on, taxi light on, and Efus is set. For Barrow, folks, we are ready to taxi. Well, let's get her moving here. We are on the way, folks. Give it just a little bit here with you, and then we'll catch you at the end of the runway. All right, folks. Oh, we got to get down to this taxiway here. So those of you on Twitch will get to watch the entire taxi. Hang on, let's, take a look outside. Look at that heat coming off that airplane. Here we go again. You can kind of see how things move. Hey, they actually got the, looks like it's timed out right. Okay. And here we come on to Whiskey. All right, folks, I am going to see you all at the other end of the runway. Okay, folks, we are at the end of the runway. Real quick for the before takeoff checklist. MCP checked and set, which means now the auto throttle comes on. Clock set transponder. Go ahead and turn that on to TARA. And if it's not there already, auto brakes to reject takeoff. Do a recall. Flight attendants notified. We are ready to go. Recall, no error messages. Okay, folks, let's take the runway. First off, Singapore traffic on 122.95. FedEx, I'm sorry, correction, Mac Air 572, departing, runway 2 left, Singapore. Now we can take the runway strobes on. Nice and easy out here. Real quick check. Perfect. Okay. VOR, VOR. All right, make sure lights are good. Lights are okay for takeoff. Flight attendants notified, so lights on. All right, we're going to go ahead and turn on the aft cargo heat now. Start our timer. No ATC. Here we go. We're going to throttle up to 60%. Okay, stabilize the engines out. Release brakes. Straight down to runway. 80 knots.
V1. Rotate. V2.
10.
And gear up.
Gear up.
I'll go ahead and go on to autopilot. And gears up. All right. There we go, folks, on course. Okay, we can go to flaps 5. And let me just do a quick check down here. The auto brakes are off. All right, we're going to go to 240. Flaps 1. Up is way in the wrong place, but what I do want to do here is 240/. And we're making the turn. Okay, direct Atrum, then we'll be direct Acoma. Not yet. Right, after takeoff checklift, positive rate of climb, we have the gear up and it's off. Flaps are retracting on schedule. Auto brakes are off. Autopilot is engaged. LNAV, VNAV. Pressurization, stabilizing. 10,000 feet, we'll turn the landing lights off. Transition altitude will go to ignition off. And altimeters will go standard, which they already are. Getting through the haze layer right now at 7,800 feet. Flaps up. Okay, let's firm this up a little. There we go. All right, folks, we are on our way. Let's just keep going a little further, get past VMR, and we'll get into what we call cruise. So from here on, we'll just kind of monitor as we get ready. Let me just see.
10,000 feet.
Okay, we're going to kind of watch. Let's get these lights off real quick, though. All right, she's nosed over and not doing what I commanded it to do, so that's fine. Okay, there we go, accelerating. And okay. Now the airplane's going to pitch up to catch that speed. This is when it's going to start to porpoise up at. Okay, a coma at 12,000. And we're just kind of watching the airspeeds here. Okay, we're on course to VMR, which is 34 miles ahead of us. And once, like I said, we cross VMR, we'll go into our cruise configuration for the stream, and we'll sit back and enjoy the ride. But for now, we're just kind of porpoising through the air. While we're here, let's just take a look.
18,000 feet.
All right, and at 18,000, even though we are way beyond our limits, let's just click that and over to here. Even though we're not changing anything. Also, transition level, we turn off continuous power all the way to the bottom. We'll get this would more than likely on a commercial version airliner passenger. We'd be on no electronics. Okay, and folks, that means we're going to go ahead and let our passengers, since we only have 6 of them, up and about. We'll kick the music on. I'll be here for the flight, folks. It is about well, let's see. I can't read it from there. 1,480 miles or so away. We're 15 miles away for kicking it off into cruise. So we'll get past VMR and get ourselves moving towards Guangzhou. Quick rundown on the flight. We're 10 minutes since we released brakes on the runway. Streaming for 1 hour 42, and it's been a pretty good flight so far, folks. We've had a couple hiccups here and there, but none that's, you know, too out of control. And Mac Air is calling to flight at 3 hours from now. We should be in the area of Guangzhou. So, I see my laptop is spinning on the stream. Let me make sure my other mode is looking good. All right, folks, and those of you that bounce in and bounce out of our chat area, hey, feel free to stick around. We got 3 hours to go to Guangzhou. We'd love to have you aboard. Love to chat with you via chat, also down in the lower right, which we'll keep up for a little longer. Once we cross VMR, we'll get rid of it. That is our Discord channel. Feel free to come over, make comments. All we ask in return is that you keep it civil. Don't look to agitate or aggravate. Many of us are just trying to sit here and relax and unwind from our days at work. I'm one of those. I do this for fun. I don't do this to argue politics at all out here. So, and there's enough in the United States to argue about right now, so I am not getting into that fray. But other than that, folks, we're on our way. For those of you lurking, welcome. Let us know you're there. We're crossing VMR as we speak. So let the music roll. Alright folks, we have reached cruise. We're at 35,000 feet. We've set cruise speed at 0.84. Cruise checks. Efus has been checked. We'll set for decision altitude as we get in closer, and I always just do a quick check to make sure they're there. Over here, same thing. Oops, go just a little higher. And you should see, if everything moved right, the DH move at the top there. See how it goes to 101, back to 100. We know we're on the right one. We're set to standard on both sides. What else do we have? Passenger signs. Let's double check. They're both in auto. And we have leveled off. So folks, that is the end of the cruise checklist. We are on our way. We'll see you. We'll be here on the side. Feel free to check in from time to time in our chat. Feel free. We'll be up here for another 3 hours or so. Right now, current information is 1,386 miles to Guangzhou, the top of descent. Right at about 1,260 miles. We'll probably come down a little earlier than that. But anyway, gives you an idea of what we got ahead of us. According to Mac Air, we are... Stand by. I'm trying to get that information pulled up here real quick. 2 hours, 42 minutes. So folks, feel free. You know, we're here, going to be here for at least the next 2 to 3 hours. So feel free to check back in. If you want, feel free to fly along with us. Plenty of airports along the way in Vietnam as we work our way into Guangzhou, China. And we look forward to flying with you. And we hope you all enjoy the flight with Mike. Back to the music. All right, folks. We're going to go take a look down here at how far out we are. We're about 412 miles out. So we're going to, well, this is kind of bugging me, so hang on a second. We're going to go down, set this to approach. Same thing over here. Sorry, folks. It's one of those things, you know, you see it, it kind of, even though all I had to do was turn it off, which actually we'll have to do anyway, but so what we've got to do here is a couple of things before we can start down at 400 miles. Actually, it's in about 260, 50 to 80 miles. All right, first off, let's do the arrival, kind of get a sense of what we're going to be doing, and then we're going to put the plane, set it up for the arrival into Guangzhou. Again, well, let's just let Sim Toolkit do the talking here. So hang on a second. And this way I can kind of keep an eyeball on it. I got a lot to learn still with OBS here, the version I have. I don't know a few things that I need to be able to do in order to get things the way I want on here. So feel free to chime in if you know anything or know anywhere for me to look. But anyway, as you can see, we're going to be coming in on the IDUM 1A arrival to Guangzhou, which is Zulu Golf Golf Golf. Runway 2 right. Now we selected 2 right. Now there was a guy in the chat room. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Charms B. Will, who enlightened me that 2 right is the runway 20 left because where is it? Heavy aircraft usually arrive on this because it's width of 60 feet. I'm sure it's 100 feet. I think it's 60 meters. So it's about 120 feet wide-ish. So, yeah, 60 feet's not very wide. But anyway, hey, we appreciate that. That really tipped me off that I was saying 2 left, yet I told you all 2 right. Or showed you all 2 right. So let me bring this down. We're going to real quick so you all can get a sense of the weather we're going into, which when we took off seemed tranquil and appears to still be tranquil. As of 1930Z, about 30 minutes or so, 050 at 1 meter per second. I do not know what that equals in knots or miles per hour, but I'm going to take it as a puff of wind in the sky. Again, this 4 nines, which I'm assuming means unlimited visibility, scattered 5,000. The temperature here in Guangzhou is 20 degrees Celsius with a QNH of 1018. No significant weather. All right, folks, and you all can read that as well. So let's move on now, and let's start talking about this arrival brief. Oops, hang on. There we go. Let's see. So from there, let's come back to the main page. Runway 2 right is 108.5, IDM 16 on a heading of 16 degrees. 12,467 feet in length. So we're 50 feet above sea level. So let's get over to the meat and potatoes of what we're going to be doing. Right now we're coming up to Dumol, and then from there we start heading towards Hong Kong, and then Guangzhou, which is about 100 or so miles north of it. All right. So the IDUM 1A arrival. Hang on, we'll just do it this way. reads, you can read along if you want. Transition level shows 11.8. If 980, below 980, if above 980 hectopascals, 1080. One real quick check here. Stand by. We are 1018, so we go with the 10,800. Need RNAV, GPS, DME, IRU. We got all of that except for the genus. We're not going to worry about it. We'll be not under radar control. We are going to be going for the 2 left, 2 right. We're going to actually go for 2 right on the IDUMA 1A. Now there are instructions are all the way at the bottom, the routing, IDUMA. Here, let me see if I can set this to where we can all read and see. So we're going from IDUMA to SHL to GG444, GG427, GG423, GG422, 408. Now, what we're going to do is come in at 4930. I'm going to set it to 5,000. And then we're going to just stay at that level till we come around for the ILS. To right is this runway on the right side here. So it's the right pair of runways, right side. Conversions, just so you know, 3,300 meters. That's right, we got to be switching over to meters here soon, so that may help us. So, and this gives you all the conversions. Okay, and this must be fun being an international pilot to have to worry about this all the time. So, but anyway, there's our arrival, what our star is. Once we get to GG408, which is right here, 286 over to 407, then we should be on the glide slope. All right, so let's zoom this up a little bit for you. Okay, now this is a Jepson chart from 7 August 20, effective 12 August at 16Z, page 21-5. This is the Guangzhou RNAV, ILS, DME, Z as in Zulu for 2 right. Here's our frequencies if we get ATC. We will be using 122905 to come in. All right, why do we have an asterisk? That's something of note, I'm sure. Why the asterisk here? Okay, 108.5 is the ILS frequency. We'll pay attention to that a little more. 16 is the final course. Now, by DME 9.1 on the India Delta Mike localizer, 2,960 feet MSL is where we should be. Decision height is 244 feet MSL. Now the 2960, that's where we should be either on glide slope or at that altitude at that point, 9.1. Those are the only twos here, folks. Only choices. Otherwise, it's go around. Okay, airport elevation's 50 feet. The runway itself is 44 feet. I think X-Plane exaggerates these slopes a little bit, so maybe not. I don't know. Never been into the airport. Probably never will. Transition level, again, they're calling it 8860, but yet we've had on the arrival 1008 as our transition. So I don't... Oh. So there you go, folks. Missed approach, we climb straight ahead to 500, then we make a right-hand turn to intercept the radial 239 off of Charlie Oscar November, which I believe is a VOR. It's right up here. 113.0 is the frequency. And we hold inbound at 4930 or above. Maximum speed for turns 200 knots. Here's a feet meter conversion. So we'll work with that when we need it. And working our way down the chart. So here you go, 408, 4,900 feet, or we could be at 6,800 feet coming down. I want to be at 5,000 just to try to make this as easy as possible. Okay, so from there, we're 20 miles out, 21 miles. We track in to the 2960 at DME 9.1 from the localizer. Keep tracking in all the way in through DME 3, DME 0.7 to the runway. ALSIF 2 should be the lights we see if we see any in the daytime. Pappies should be on the left side. We'll see. And again, pictorially, this is our missed approach. Okay, and again, down at the bottom, like on all JEP charts, this is your minimum. All right, folks? What's the one at? I see a item 1. Where is that at? I don't know. Okay. But anyway, where is the item 1 being referred to? So there you go, folks. That is our arrival brief into Guangzhou. One thing I do want to do is get our VREF as we're speaking this. Autoland 3. Updating the weather. And compute. So it looks like VREF's 146 approach, 151. So we'll fly it in here. We should be VFR, so we shouldn't have any troubles here, folks. So that wraps up our arrival brief. If you have any questions, please, by all means, put them in the chat. We've still got, let's see here. About 170 miles to top of descent. We made our turn. Sorry, folks. Catching up the important stuff here. 37. And give me about 100 miles and we'll get things set up for the arrival. And thanks for flying with Mike. We'll get one more song in. All right, folks. Hope you got that last run at the restroom, popcorn, and all your favorite beverages, because here we go. We're beginning to set up. I really liked that last song, Don't Hold Back. Wow, that was a really good song here on Pretzel Rocks. So yes, I liked it. That was really good. All right, folks, so enough music. We're here to fly. As you can see on the nav displays, we're getting ready to bring it in here. Iduma is the beginning of the arrival, which is right up here. I'm going to go ahead and dial us in. Whoop, wrong way. 1 notch. We are now 50 miles out, so let's set to, I'm on thinking the wrong plane again. Okay, and VREF. Go here, click here. All right, so VREF again, we said 146 and 30. And it's not showing up over here. Okay, something tells me, well, we'll keep it as is. So that's what we're planning, folks, is 30 and 146. As we do still have some mileage to go here to start down. Oh, that zoom out really ticks me off. According to this, we're 214 miles out. So we'll kind of ease our way down. Let's, I want to revisit the star real quick. So 5,000, 6,000, 3,200. Okay, so yeah, we'll kind of be mindful that we could have some mountain ranges here. We're going around. Nothing says altitude-wise, though. Okay, I just wanted to make sure here. Interesting map, I have to say. Kind of like it, kind of don't. It's one of those you don't know. We'll stay with the high-end route. All right, and darkened. Okay, so wow, we are really, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and come down when they tell me to. All right, so we're at 30, so let's go up here, set our altitude. What I'm going to do is come down to 11, actually. I'm going to set for 11. Take a look at this conversion chart. See if it takes care of that. We're going to come down to transition altitudes. So 10,000. There. And we are now 25 miles out. Okay, we're just gonna let her drift in. Okay, as soon as we go into single digits, I'm going to go ahead and start the descent. Mind you, we are 180 miles out according to what the FMC is saying. Okay, descent checklist pressurization's been checked, recalled. Auto brakes are set for 3. Approach briefing given, transition level set. And we'll go to continuous on the engines. They are set to go. All right. We'll do it this way still. And here we go. There we go on our descent. Okay, we're watching here. We may have to Okay, so we are now descending into Guangzhou. At Mach 0.80. At 300, we'll take over with IAS, indicated airspeed, to bring us in. And, okay, we can let loose the spoilers. Not really sure why it's racing down. You can see the pointer for 0.80 is at 300. Oh, I'm sorry, it was at 285. Almost. I was getting ready to call us on the Iduma, but we're a few miles out from that. 12 to be exact. All right, folks, if there's anything question-wise you have, this is the GitHub 747-400 for X-Plane. For those curious, while we're got just an ounce of time here, you can get the aircraft at this website. Actually, hang on. Go here, go here. And 2 versions are there.
18,000 feet.
All right, hang on. Let me see how we're descending. I'm going to go ahead and keep it up here until 10,000. Speed brakes off again. You got the latest version, which was actually released in November. So it's that version of the aircraft. There are known bugs in it, but they can tell you to get around them. And then you have the latest and greatest that is gonna probably have some bugs in it. Basically, by what I mean, the latest, they keep updating this. And hang on a second. I did it to myself again. Okay. But anyway, they know about them. So, and you click, if you go to the site, you just simply click code, and that'll open up a drop down, click download zip. Once it downloads, open it up, put it in your aircraft files. It'll be the latest project, latest of where they're at in this 2-year project they've been on, and it'll let you. This is what I'm flying right now, the latest one. Then you can go take most of the default liveries will work. I don't know how to fix them so they show up. Sometimes they show up white bodies, silver bodies, and I don't know how to fix them. This whole X-plane is all new to me. If this was flight sim, there's a chance I could figure it out, but not in X-plane. So, anyway, we are passing through 13,000. We're going to head down first. Go ahead and get the signs on. And we're going to begin slowing to 250. All right, we're going to stay at transition altitude all the way over for a little bit. And then we'll start down to 6,000. We got to make sure, though, we hold transition. All right, so we're back into plane now, folks. Yeah, I know it's yelling for drag. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, really. It'll be fine. Guangzhou traffic, Mac Air 572 Heavy on the Aduma 1A approach for runway 2 right, crossing Sierra Hotel Lima, 11,000 feet. Okay, nice and easy now. Good deal. Oh, now we're starting to look cave-ocky. All right, so 10,000. Here comes that. Turn the aft cargo heat.
10,000 feet.
Lights are coming on. All right, just a quick recap for everyone. We are 3 hours, 20 minutes in or so into the stream. Actually, correction, from takeoff, and we are on the Iduma 1A arrival, passing 9,000. We need to set our 118. Hang on a second. All right. Okay. Got those set now. Lights are on. Okay, let's do on the stick here. Oops. Okay, landing data set, transition checked, auto brake set. And then all we got left is landing. As we make this turn, I'm going to take us to 220. Actually, I'm going to get us descending because we're not. Okay, I'm curious, can we see the airport out there? And there's the airfield, folks. And again, this is where FedEx parks. All right, we're not slowing. I miss having the arc to tell me if we're in a good profile for the descent. Shows us 80 miles. Okay, we'll stay off of that. Actually, we'll just stay right there. All right, so we're coming up on 5,000. Let's make sure we take the altitude. Now, I do see the localizer is appearing to be alive. Got a cloud layer out here to the south of the field. We are below it. I think we're in the haze right now. All right, folks. Put in your predictions if you so choose. What the heck, I'm going to throw one in there. If anything, just to help show y'all what you need to do. It's just the asterisk, predict, space, minus, and whatever number. You ain't going to hurt my feelings, folks, if you put 10,000. Okay, just a little, but no, you won't. All right, Guangzhou traffic, Mac Air 572 over Gulf 427, 5,000 feet, correction, 1,500 meters, inbound to right, or yeah, to right. For now, we'll put a notch of flaps in to help us a little here. Actually, yeah, we'll keep it at 1 for now. Okay, notch 1 is down. And lights are on across the board. And we're going to drop to 10, 20-mile range. All right. Going to flaps 5. We're going to maintain. Okay, I'm just going to make sure. Okay, we're rolling out. Glide slope, we are below. Good deal. Oh, we lost the localizer. Hang on as we continue around. There it is. We're on approach. Slow her down to 200. I don't know why glide slope does not show up. Oh, now it does. Okay, disregard. Alright, can't see the airfield, so we're going to let her track in on the ILS. Currently 17 miles out. Alright, folks, again, put your predictions in for the landing. See how well you predict this. Because yes, I probably will not let this auto land. I will do it myself. Alright, so we're going to slow up to now. Slow up to 180. We'll go flaps 10. Arm the spoilers. So much for KVOC. Roughly 10 to 15 miles out, I don't even see the runway. However, gear is coming down.
Gear down.
And the gear lever went down this time. Hallelujah. Okay, we'll set it up. Shouldn't need it. Okay, we're showing slightly off track here. Hopefully we pick up the runway here soon. Got it. I think I've got the runway right ahead of us. Firming up now. We'll give it a little closer.
2,500.
There it is. 7 miles out. Let's get some more flap in. Okay, we're at flaps 20. Don't know what it takes to get the speed brakes to arm. 25. And at 5 miles, I want to be full flaps, and we'll do our landing checklist. Okay, landing checklist, flaps 30. All right, landing checklist, flaps down. Gear, down and green. Speed brakes are still not showing armed. Now they are. Oh, now they're not. There they are. Runway in sight. Lights are on. Correct? Lights are on.
One thousand.
All right, plane's mine. All right, folks, Flying with Mike is now taken over. Still high. Flaps 30, speed brakes arm, brakes 3, gear down and down.
500. 400.
Okay, wings level. Slight crosswind.
300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
And we'll just stay in idle reverse. There's 80. I think we landed kind of really slow. Take this high speed at 43 knots. Ooh, really high speed. Thank you, First Officer. Let's get her slowed a little. All right, let's get the after landing checks done here. Auto brakes to off. All right, let's go over to 6 to the co-pilot side. Let's get these flaps coming up. And folks, that complex to our left is where we're heading. Okay, landing lights. Strobes. Apu? Alright, folks. Here we go. After landing, landing lights are off, flaps are up, stab trim 26. I did not do that. Gear is down still. Alright. MCP reset Efus standby on the transponder. Okay, and alright, so Q10. Not this one, but the next one. Actually, we're going to go up to this taxiway. Alright, folks, we are entering the FEDEX area. And I really don't know what kind of spots we have waiting here, but for those of you who flew along with us, if there are any, pick a spot, any spot, and I'll try not to park on you. Okay, looking back at the landing, we recorded a 347 foot a minute landing. Woohoo, I got it right, and we just took out a catering truck. Oh, you gotta love traffic at an airport. Wow. I think that's a little wide, folks. All right, well, let's pick a spot. All right, we're going to just head down here. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the taxi lights. Then whatever comes close, we'll take. That looks like a good spot right there. All right, folks, there we go. We'll take this one right here. And since this is a BCF, it really doesn't matter as long as our tail clears the road. Okay, by the way, BCF means Boeing Conversion Freighter, meaning they took a passenger jet, took it back to Boeing. Boeing slapped on a cargo door on the side, ripped out the interior, cleaned it up a little bit on the sides, and sent it out as a freighter. Yes, I know they did more, but you know. All right, folks, we're in the blocks. Let's set the parking brake. And yeah, it bothers me sometimes. Hang on a second, like do the same thing over here. Okay, so they're all done. All right, so after landing, we've done. APU is running. Okay, let's double check here on the stats. We are up and running. So, parking brake set, taxi lights off, clock reset. We're going to stop it. And stop it over here. I reset it. Doggone it. Oh well. Electrical ground gen APU. Let's go up here and see. We got the APU. Okay. With that, let's come down to the bottom, see if we need to do it from here. We sure can. And by the way, we were talking about toga switches or how to disengage. I do not know if these will disengage you in the 747. So it's best to just click the switch. You expert Boeing 747 folks, feel free to hit the chat room to let me know so I can make sure I pass on the right information. Okay, that's off. Standby. Okay. And fuel pumps off. Now, fuel pumps. What we're going to do is keep the 2 pumps here on. Now we'll turn this to auxiliary and then off, whoop, off, off, off. Anti-ice was already turned off. And folks, that brings us up to the secure checklist, which we're not going to do at this time. We're not even going to hook up to ground power. We're going to just keep it like it is. However, we need to close out with Mac Air. Bear with me a second. And okay, there it is. Real quick here, folks. I hit the wrong one. Sorry. There we go. All right, so real quick, all we have to do, Mac Air is in the process. I think they've got something new coming. I'm going to find out. I don't know. But this is what we use to log our flights. It's nothing more than really smart ACARs, just modified for the airline. Plain and simple. It's the easiest way to describe it. But it's a good tool. And all we got to do is click Stop Flight. Okay. File PIREP. Okay. And that's all we got to do, folks. And of course, I'm one of those that has to head over, make sure that I see it coming in here. There it is. And looking on POSCON, I believe I see the little bit of a lot of activity in Europe. I'm sitting here in Guangzhou. There's traffic or ATC in Korea, London, Europe, kind of heavy. So, and even in Brazil. Wow. Quite a bit of ATC starting to show up. So, POSCON is beginning to take. So, hopefully, we'll see you all over here. I still fly on VATSIM occasionally, but it sometimes can get really hard. So that's why you won't find me all the time over here. But when I am, that's, what I'm going to fly. We're going to go ahead and log out of POSCON. Whoop, that's Sim Toolkit. And close out ACARS. Come back. We should be off the map, and we are. Okay, and folks, that's gonna be a wrap here. Hope you enjoyed the flight. Tomorrow, I'm not sure. I know the stream says we're gonna come out of Auckland for the Fiji Islands. That may have to go on hold. We're in the process of, if you will, getting ready to, well, slightly renovate the office space that both me and my wife are in, to try to make it a little more functional. She's got a couple of desks. They've come in, and we may be putting them up tomorrow. So I may have to postpone tomorrow. We'll see. But as long as you click follow, you will know when we take flight again. And with that, folks, we're going to have to say we're out of here. And we glad you joined us. G-Nice for you. Thanks for lurking about in the background there. We sure appreciate you, along with all of our followers. And, I just clicked the wrong one. I just wanted to see what we have going on here. All right, so we're going to wrap it up and take a look at it outside one more time here in Guangzhou, China. And we're ready to get out of the plane. So there we go. You can see the APU plume in the background. And with that, we will say adios and look forward to seeing you on the next flight. And as always, God bless.